Welcome to International TEFL Academy live on Facebook. My name is Carrie. I'm a student affairs advisor and also a member of our ambassador department here at International TEFL Academy, ITA. Super excited today. Joining us, we have Allison Schmitt. She's one of our social media ambassadors, and she's going to share with us all about her life teaching English in Bangkok, Thailand. Allison, welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for joining us. I know that it's late, coming up to your bedtime in Thailand, so thanks for taking the time out. Allison, tell us about yourself. Where are you from? What were you doing before heading over to Bangkok?
Yeah, so I graduated in 2015 with a bachelor's degree in history and art history. And that year I moved to Germany to live for a year as a nanny. And then when I got back, I was like, how am I going to get abroad again? And so I found ITA and took the online course and ended up here in Bangkok, Thailand from a little town in Massachusetts.
Awesome. Tell us about the most challenging part, with getting certified.
I would say the most challenging part for me was finding a practice location. From a really small town, there's only 700 people in my town, so very, very small area. I thought I was going to have to drive out to Boston and spend a few weeks there doing my practicum hours, but there's actually a school in the next town over for adult English learning. So I would say that was one thing I was very stressed out about while I was taking the course. And one of the things that worried me about the online course, but it's actually a lot easier to find. There's a lot of schools if you just, put in the time to use Google and kind of like search around your area. Even some public schools will have an ESL program, so don't stress about the practicum like I did.
Definitely. That's probably the most stressful part of the course from our students, but also the most rewarding. What are some benefits, how has being TEFL certified benefited you in your classroom?
I use things that I learned in the TEFL course all the time. There were games or activities that I learned from other students, things that I needed to think about walking into a classroom like this, because I had some background working in education, but never in teaching English as a second language. And I'd say the most important thing that I learned was the presentation, practice, production. And so every lesson plan, I'm always thinking like the 3 Ps, like make sure you have all three in your lesson plan every day. So just so many things that I took away from that course. I think about every day when I walk into my classroom.
Okay, awesome. Allison, if you can get a little bit closer to your phone, I think we'll be able to hear you just a bit better. Very good. Don't be shy. I think it's better. Testing.
Testing.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All right. So why Bangkok? What made you decide to head on over there?
I actually had never considered coming to Asia at all. My goal was to get back to Europe because I'd spent time there studying abroad. I had spent time there as an au pair. I wanted to be back in Europe. And I got a job in Spain, but it ended up falling through. And so I called up the job search guidance or the student advisor. That's who I'm looking for. And my student advisor was so amazing and really talked me through, finding something new because I was very worried about being able to get out. And she had been in Bangkok. And she told me about her time here, and she had spent 3 years here and just really, she spent an hour on the phone with me talking to me about Bangkok, which had never never in a million years been on my radar to go. And she just really convinced me that this was a great place to come adventure, and it really has been.
Awesome. Good to hear. For those of you just tuning in, we're chatting live with social media ambassador Allison. She's living and teaching ESL in Bangkok, Thailand. Allison, tell us about your job. How did you find it? Your students, what's it like?
Yeah, so I teach first grade English and social studies at an international school. We follow the California State Common Core standards. So a little bit different than teaching in a Thai school, a little bit more literature focused than reading and phonics. But it's been fun. So I have 50 first graders that are broken up into 2 classes. And I found my job before I got here, but not before I booked my ticket. I had booked my ticket and kind of had a little bit of a panic about coming without a job lined up. So I used ajarn.com. It's AJARN.com. And they have jobs all over Thailand. And so I just put that I wanted something in Bangkok. And I applied to 5 different schools, and I think I heard back from all of them, but this was just the right fit for me.
Awesome. Yeah, and Allison, you bring up a great point. If you are currently a ITA student, be sure to reach out to Student Affairs. Just like Allison, you'll be set up with a Student Affairs advisor who will kind of guide you through the whole job search process. So be sure to do that. If you're not currently an ITA student, head on over to our website, internationalteflacademy.com, and you can be set up with an admissions advisor and be like Allison and be teaching in Thailand or wherever it is your heart desires. All right, Allison, what is, let's see, the biggest, I guess, what's your favorite part of teaching English?
My favorite part is the students, and it's so fun to walk in on a Monday morning after having those 2 days off and walk in and just hear Miss Allison, and everybody be so excited you're there. It's so nice. It's just really fun, and to see kids who come in with really minimal English skills and see their progress through each quarter, and see them have an easier time reading and have an easier time writing. It's just really rewarding to see little 6 and 7-year-olds so happy that they can read a book at home to their parents instead of their parents reading to them.
Absolutely, definitely. What is one of the biggest challenges with?
I think the biggest challenge is accepting that these are kids, and they're not always going to make the logical leaps that adult native English speakers are going to make. So we're working on phonics and sounding out words, and one little girl is so sweet. She kept sounding out ever, and it's like F, move, and then she kept going never, and I'm like, where are you getting the N from? So it's just kind of working with these little children's minds, but also trying to teach them something, and just having that patience is a challenge, but it's rewarding once they get to that ever instead of never.
Definitely, absolutely. What was the process for getting a work visa?
It's kind of a process here. I know some people who have gotten here and gotten all of their work permit and visa within the month that they've been here. It took me 6 months. It was a 6-month process for me. I came on a 60-day tourist visa that I had to get in America. If you don't come with one, you have to enter with a 30-day visa. So I had 60 days, and then the 60 days ran out, and I went for another 30. So I'm here 90 days on a tourist visa. And then I had to take a van up.
Hey, welcome to International TEFL Academy.
Sorry about that. We're having technical difficulties. So continue. You had to take a van.
Yeah, you take a van up to the Lao border, and it's a whole service that they do. You just bring the paperwork with you, and you cross the border, you spend a night in Lao, and then you have a non-B visa. So I came back with my non-B visa, and that was good for 3 months. And then at the end of the 3 months, I went and got my work permit at the work permit office, and then had to go back to immigration to get an extension on the non-B. And now my non-B is approved through December. And the work visa, as long as you have the work visa, you can keep extending your non-B. So it's a lot of steps.
A lot of steps. Now, was your school able to help you through that, or the recruiter?
My school helped me a lot. I didn't come through a recruiter, so they have so many international teachers. A majority of them are from the Philippines. There's some from England. There's some from America. A lot from South Africa. So they have a whole office for employees to get their visas. So it was just a lot of like, bring us this, bring us that. You need to go to the embassy and get this. And then they put it all together for me, put it in an envelope, and we're like, go to Lao. And for the visa services. And so I have a visa fact sheet that will be posted at some point in the next few months. So I'll add the numbers for those services to go get your non-B visa.
Awesome. Yes. And so Allison is just referring to what Allison referred to. You can find in the Ambassador Corner, which is a link from the International TEFL Academy website. Stay tuned to that. Be on the lookout for that. A lot of great content coming in. Allison's going to be putting together a fact sheet so you can kind of get a glimpse of what to look out for if you're interested in going to Thailand or other countries where we have ambassadors this round. We have a question from the audience, and that question was, how hard was it for you to find a job there?
It was not as hard as I thought it would be, because I use the AJARN website. They have new job postings every single day. I thought it was a huge tool for me. I thought it was great. And not only did I get a job through ajarn.com, but I also had the experience of being able to apply for these jobs and know, like, because they ask you for so many things that they wouldn't ask you for if you were applying for a job in America. Like they want you to send a picture of your passport. They want you to send a headshot. They want your resume. They don't ask for a cover letter, but I just put the cover letter in my email after I didn't hear back from one of the jobs. So it was just it was a learning curve, but it was also a super helpful tool. So for me, it was not too hard. And I know for a lot of people, they get here and it's such a revolving door job. I have 3 teachers that have left my school in the year that I've been here. So like there's constantly jobs opening up, especially in Bangkok because it's such a expat city.
Definitely, absolutely. How are you able to find somewhere to live?
I have really amazing coworkers. It was my second day of school, and one of them came and knocked on my door and was like, "Hey, do you want me to connect you with the realtor that I used for my condo? She can show you like 6 rooms in my building." And so I went with her that day, and we looked at all of the rooms, and that's how I found one, which was awesome because it's actually a 10-minute walk to my school from here. Because I hate commuting. So it was perfect for me. And so not everybody's going to have super awesome coworkers, but definitely start there. I would say if you have other international teachers at your school, check in with them and see kind of like how they found their housing. Also, any expat Facebook pages have tons of realtors on their pages. So if you just post like, I need a room, I need it close to this place because that's where I work, you'll get like 10 messages from different Bangkok-based realtors who will definitely help you out.
Perfect. Great tips. Now let's talk about, your kind of living situation. What are some of your expenses? Do you find that you're able to save money?
I save a lot of money. I save about 50% of my paycheck every month. Especially, I also outside of the city, not too far outside, but I'm on the airport link instead of the BTS, so I'm on the lesser of the trains. So I live in a less costly area, so I'm spending just under $350 US dollars a month on rent, internet, phone, electricity, water.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's pretty cheap to live in Bangkok, even if you aren't living in the outskirts.
Definitely. Thailand is a great market. If you're looking to save money, definitely look into teaching in Thailand. For those of you just tuning in, again, we are chatting live with social media ambassador Allison, who is teaching ESL in Bangkok, Thailand. Let's switch gears here real quick, Allison. You volunteer at a dog shelter. Tell us about that. We'd love to hear.
It's actually a cat shelter.
It's a cat shelter.
There's actually not a lot of dog shelters in Bangkok, which is sad because I love all animals. But no, there's a really, really amazing shelter in Bangkok. It's called Paws. If you're an animal lover like me, it's definitely a good time investment. I have fostered for them, and I sometimes help them out with their weekend market at the local farmers market. They set up a little table and they sell things and get donations. And they usually bring a kitten, which is very exciting. But yeah, no, if you're like me and have a very soft heart for animals, Bangkok can be a little bit hard because there are a lot of street animals here. But there's some really awesome organizations that are doing a lot for it, and it's fun to give back to them because they're doing such good work here.
Absolutely. And you adopted a kitty, right?
I did.
Hey, tell us about it. Did you adopt it from that same location, that organization?
He was a foster failure. I took them in over Christmas break because I have 3 weeks off for Christmas break because I work for a Christian school. And I was like, you know what I'm going to do is foster some cats. And I always prided myself on being a dog lover and like a cat liker. And then came, and one of them was just the sweetest thing ever, and I was like, you can't ever leave me. You have to stay with me forever. So he is here.
Awesome. Let's talk food in Bangkok. What is your favorite dish, or what have you found interesting? Tell us a little bit about the food there.
So I've never really been a soup person, but they have so many soups here, and they're amazing. My favorite one is tom yum, which I had never heard of before. But I guess you can get it in stores in America. I just don't know I didn't know. But it's so good. It's like a very spicy soup, and it usually has some kind of meat or a seafood and noodles. And there's one place in Bangkok, and it was voted the best place in Bangkok, and I could not even tell you what the name is. But I'll post it somewhere. But they have such good tom yum, and you would never think to like check it out because it's like down an alleyway and like through some more streets and then down another alleyway. But one of my friends found it online and it's so amazing. So I'll post the name of it for everybody once we're done.
Thank you. Yeah, those tend to be the best ones. The ones that are like down sketchy alleyways, like under a bridge, hole in the walls. Those never disappoint. Yeah. Allison, have you learned any Thai since you've been? How has it been kind of getting around?
You know, it's pretty easy to get around. As long as you have kind of a general idea of where you want to go, you can kind of tell them and they'll drop you off there, and then you can just walk to where you want to go. I will say Google Maps is your friend. When you get here, get a Thai SIM card because it's super, super cheap and it's totally worth it. But oh, I forgot what the question was.
So basically, Google Translate, Google Maps. Don't worry about if you don't speak Thai, you'll learn the essentials, right?
I think the main thing to remember is to be polite. So know how to say hello, know how to say goodbye, which in Thailand you're in luck because it's the same phrase. Know how to say thank you, excuse me. I know a few numbers. I know my street address. That is very important. But for the most part, the Thai people are really nice, and they know that if you're here and you're not speaking Thai, it's because you're a tourist or you're teaching English here, and they will be very kind. And they're very supportive of the point method.
Definitely. Allison, what's your biggest piece of advice for anyone who wants to teach abroad?
Just do it. If you're even a little bit on the fence about it, just go for it. It's not the end of the world if you get here and you're 4 months in and you're like, oh, I don't like it. You just buy a plane ticket and go home. There's no reason to not try it. It's a blast. It can be hard the first couple months. It can be hard the first month especially, before you've really met people. But don't let the fear of culture shock or the fear of the unknown keep you from going for it, because it's amazing and it really changes your perspective on a lot of things. So my biggest piece of advice is just go for it.
Definitely. I second that. Definitely second that. Tell us about why you wanted to be an alumni ambassador for ITA.
I really love mentoring. I did a lot of mentoring when I was in college, and since then I haven't really had much of an opportunity. But just being here for the little time, or I guess it was 5 months, the 5 months that I was here, and just posting on Instagram and saying teach ESL or hashtag teach ESL, I get messages a lot from people being like, oh, what school did you use, or how do you like Bangkok, or different questions like that. And I just really love helping other people and supporting them, because I think traveling is such an important thing for people to try. And I think teaching English abroad makes traveling easy because you're making money while you're traveling the world and meeting new people and seeing new cultures. So really the mentorship aspect. So anybody watching who has any questions, please feel free to message me whenever.
For sure, yes. And you can find Allison, again, as I mentioned before, in the ambassador corner of the website, internationalteflacademy.com. She is also really active on in the Thailand Facebook group. Allison, what's your Facebook name?
It's Allison Victoria, so it's my middle name.
Definitely. So look out for Allison Victoria. Feel free to hit her up on Facebook. Look out for her awesome posts on Instagram. But we love having you, Allison, as an ambassador. And for those of you at home, feel free to reach out to her with your questions, as well as reaching out to Student Affairs. Allison, do you have any meetups coming up in Thailand?
We do. We have up on this Saturday, the 24th at 7 p.m. At the Commons, which is like a big, I don't want to say food court, but it's kind of like a food court. But they have tons of stuff. They have Vietnamese, they have a coffee shop, they have a really cute pie place, they have a churro place, they have beer and wine places, they have a Mexican restaurant, and the best part about it is you can order your food and they'll bring it to our communal area that I have set up for ITA alums, and we can all eat together. So you can get whatever you want, and we'll have some drinks and we'll have some dinner, and we'll get to know each other, because I think the Bangkok alums are a little bit disconnected. So let's connect up and meet each other.
Absolutely. And if you're in Thailand, if you're in Bangkok, be sure to check out there's an event in the Thailand Facebook group, and you can RSVP. So be sure to do that. All right. So we have a few questions from the viewers. So let's get into those. Allison, how hard is the TEFL course?
How hard is the TEFL? I think it's just hard enough. It's not hard as long as you put in the work. I am a serial procrastinator, so everything is due, or at least for the online course, everything is due Sunday nights. So I would spend, Saturday and Sunday going through all the reading and taking the quiz at the end of it, and then working on the lesson plans or whatever project we had for that week. And I was working a full-time job. So it's definitely workable if you're working at a full-time job, trying to save money so you can get out of there. But it's not easy. Like, you're going to get a lot out of it. You're going to learn a lot. So I think it's just the right level of easy hard.
Awesome. Another question we have is the teacher's age an issue?
I'm not sure of the question.
So in some markets, and particularly in Asia, you find a lot of markets where folks who may be more mature or older, let's say 40s, 50s plus, may have a hard time finding a job in certain markets. Have you found that to be the case in Thailand? Do you work with older teachers at your job?
I do. There is actually at my school, it's a very, very diverse population of teachers. There are some people who talk about their grandchildren all the time. I'm 24. There's a lot of women in their 30s who work there. There's a husband and wife team that work there, and I think they're both in their 40s and 50s. So yeah, there's a lot of diversity in age, especially at my school. I can't speak for every school, but I think it's not as big of a deal breaker as it might be in some other places.
Awesome. Okay, another question we have. What is a social life like as a teacher in Thailand?
Yeah, so some of my really close friends are my coworkers, so that's really nice. So I see them every day. Friday night, or Friday after school, they're like, okay, let's go, all hang out. I've met some really great people through the ITA Alumni group. There is a Young Bangkok Expats group, but there's also a Bangkok Expats group. So they put on events every so often, which are really, really fun. They're usually some kind of casual meetup. so there's like the ability to talk to people and like make friends. My personal favorite is Girl Gone International, which, sorry fellas, only for ladies. But that one's really great. They do events usually 3 times a month, and it's other female expats, so it's really fun to meet up with other, solo women travelers.
Awesome. All right, another question we have that just came in. There seems to be a lot of turnover in the ESL field. What is it like to build a career as an ESL teacher? I'm interested in more than just a 1 to 2 year stint.
Yeah. Friends out.
Oh, Allison, are you still there? It looks like we are having some technical difficulties. We are working on getting Allison back up. In the meantime, I'll share a fun story. My brother actually is an ESL teacher, and he's been teaching English in Japan since 2007, right? So you've got, both ends of the spectrum. You'll have your lifers who do it for a year and realize that this is what they want to do. I've worked with students and teachers in the past where, their first year was in Uruguay, and then they went to Colombia, and then they called me up the next year or the following year, and they're ready to head over to Asia. So you've got teachers who will do it, will teach in one location, one country for a year, and maybe stay there for multiple years. And even those who will, kind of hop to different countries and even different regions throughout the years. And then, of course, you have those teachers who just want that 1 or 2 year experience. It really just depends on you and what you're looking for and what you're looking to get out of the experience. So we are still working on getting Allison back up. Again, Allison is teaching ESL in Bangkok, Thailand. Thailand's a great market, and this is actually a great time to head on over to Thailand as they are hiring. A lot of employers are hiring teachers during this time. If you're not ready right now, don't worry. There's another peak season coming up in the fall. Feel free to check out our website, internationalteflacademy.com. There you'll find information and resources about our classes. You can take the online class like Allison did and then head on over to Thailand. We also have a class in Thailand you can take. Hi,
I'm so sorry.
You're back.
Sorry.
No worries. I was just filling in space. I actually told everyone the story about my brother who's teaching English in Japan, and he's been there since 2007. So, feel free to take it from here. What's been your experience, or what advice would you have for someone who wants to teach ESL for more than just 1 or 2 years?
Yeah, I have multiple teachers at my school who have been here 3, 4, 5 years. The teacher before the teacher I replaced, so it was me and then one teacher that had done a year, but the teacher before that was there for 5 years. And I think he just moved to another school in Cambodia. So I think he's still teaching. I think there's a lot of opportunities to teach English. So, make yourself a home base or stay for a year, go somewhere else. But I think there's so many opportunities to teach English. And I don't think the schools want there to be a high turnover. Like, I think they want to find teachers who understand their program and understand their mission statement. So they're not, looking at your 1 year contract and you being like, oh, I want to stay longer. And they're like, no, they want you there. They want you to stay, because the longer you stay, the better you know their program, and the better teacher you become. So I don't think that's, I think that tends to be the culture of the job, but I don't think it's the rule.
Absolutely. Good point. All right. Another question is, What places or countries have you been able to travel to while teaching in Thailand?
So I haven't done a ton of traveling, unfortunately. I went to Laos, which was really awesome, but I only went for my visa run. But I loved that little city in Laos. I've actually done a bit of traveling within Thailand. So I went down to the islands and I did Koh Tao and Koh Phangan, which are amazing. And I went down to Pattaya, which is the beach right near here, and they also have an island off of them. It's Koh Lorn, which is really, really nice. And I'm planning this summer around a lot of travel because we have a 2-month summer vacation. So I'm hopefully going to be doing Cambodia, Vietnam, and then I'd like to go back down to the islands a bit and Singapore. I have lots of plans.
Awesome. And you're in a great location for that. I mean, Southeast Asia, you can hit up so many different countries, even just traveling within Thailand. All right, we've got time for one more question. And I feel like this might be a trick question, but we'll see. How do you say water in Thai?
Nam.
Nam. Okay. All right. You passed. Awesome. Thank you so much, Allison, for joining us. I know, again, it's probably past your bedtime at this point. For those of you tuning in, again, check out Allison. She's on in our Thailand Facebook group as Allison Victoria. She is hosting a meetup that's coming up this Saturday. You can find a lot of great content coming out from Allison in the ambassador corner of the website, internationalteflacademy.com. If you're not currently a student of ITA, please do check out the website, get connected with one of our admissions advisors. They'll walk you through all the different programs we have. You can take the online class like Allison did or any of our in-person classes. If you are an ITA student or alum, definitely reach out to Student Affairs if you haven't done so already. We are here waiting and happy to guide you through the job search program, the job search process rather, and we can get you on your way to teaching English in Thailand like Allison or anywhere else that you'd like to teach. Thanks to you tuning in from home or wherever you may be. Hope you enjoyed this. Allison, again, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Bye.